Saturday morning, back here with you. Yes, literally back. Last week's show was actually done in much in advance because I actually was leaving. I actually left. Um, by the time last week's show aired, I actually did come back, but I knew there was going to be the time frame was just not going to allow for me to be able to upload the show or anything like that. So we did it in advance, and then had it scheduled on there to come out for you folks and everybody. So anyway, yes, but we're actually back because I was in California. I was over in Sacramento, which was actually really nice. Really enjoyed the time there in Sacramento, California. It was a beautiful, beautiful area. Would absolutely. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, if I could afford to live over there, I probably would. There's a whole lot of things to do. Went into an actually a really cool place that I really liked. Um, it was called the Cave, I believe, and man, it was full of physical media, records, movies, and just all kinds of stuff that I really enjoy. And I was scouring through there. I didn't want to like look too hard because I knew I was going to end up filling a box full of things that I'd have to end up shipping back or something. But yeah, just really awesome place. Awesome stuff out there and really had a good time. Like I said, I really had a good time. So looking forward to heading on back over there. And as if everybody doesn't know why I was going over there to visit my family, basically. So my mom lives over there, and that was my first trip over to actually go see her, which is kind of sad. She'd been there a year, and that was the first time I actually went over there to go check her out. Which I need to make sure that changes. So that's hence going back again this year. So in a couple of months here. All right. Um, we're going to go ahead and read your comments here in no particular order. Um, Again, if your comment wasn't read, could have been after the production of the show or, things like that. So we don't mean to leave anybody out, but anyway, yes. All right. Led 8541. Led is an awesome dude, awesome channel. He has been doing the Knife Saturday morning videos, so catch him on doing those. Of course, he does probably some of the most awesome barbecue videos on YouTube. Really makes some delicious tasting stuff. Really cool stuff about how because he's the one that actually educated me on the types of barbecues that are out there. He's been using the thing, the Pit Boss or whatever with the pellets and everything. Interesting stuff. So keep up the good work there, lad. And this one here is from JW. JW has got a quite a bit of write up as we were talking about the products of stuff, and reloading was kind of our last week's topic of things. So JW says I was advised to use Unique when I started with my 29. I paid attention to the primers and had concerns about pressure spiking one day in the desert near Scottsdale and Bell, north of Tom Chauncey's Arabians. I had some 240 grain jacketed hollow points, was just plinking at some trash and beer bottles around 40 yards away. When I stood them back up, I was surprised to see shiny copper in the dust. I picked up the bullet, rather bothered by it at its condition, virtually unexpanded, but the hollow point section was flattened off, so pristine that I could have reused it in another hand load. That ended my use of Unique powder. Studying the reloading manual showed me I needed something very different for my magnums. First, I needed lighter bullets, and I found the perfect choice, Sierra, the 180 grain jacketed hollow point, along with the proper magnum powder. For me, it's either H110 or 296. I have heard a lot of good things about H110. Never used it myself. I did use it for loading 30 carbine. I have used 296 and 44 Magnum before in the past. It's been a long time. Only recently did I start using reloading 44 Magnum. So normally I shot the specials. Both are nearly interchangeable. Looking at the data convinced me that I was on the right course, but I had expected the radical a radically different bullet performance. I filled a rectangular can with water and took it to my usual area because it was the first thing I did at close range. The can was about 20 yards, easy to see the center aim. I touched off my new load of Dirty Harry 29. I was shocked at what happened. The can launched up and away, clattering when it came down. The shape changed from the impressive sight. The inside was sight was inside the can. Monsters. And one day I found the box of Federal 180 jacketed hollow point ammo, and I tried it. Virtually duplicated my loads. Uh, they're what 44 Magnum is meant to be. Yeah. Sorry, it's hard for me to read. I need glasses, so big long things are really difficult for me to follow. Um, we found that Federal Red Box 44 Magnum was extremely stout stuff. That my buddy and I we tried that. It was extremely brutal. For me, I'm mostly just using it to enjoy the 29 just for fun and punching paper every now and then, shooting steel outside. So I'm not really trying to like ramp up anything, but I have been having fun with experimenting loads. So yeah, currently right now, I mean, I guess I like unique. To each their own. Everybody's got different things. I'm not hunting or anything like that, so expansion and all that. I'm just shooting pretty much full metal jacket. All right, Jeffrey Richardson. Good morning. Sip of coffee for sure. Crazy Scotsman. Glad you were able to get out and see your family. Hopefully safe travels. All involved. Yes. Um, there has always been a stigma amongst collectors about shooting the classics. To me, they were built to shoot, and not doing so is injustice to the fine folks in which made such iconic, beautiful pieces. Yes, absolutely. I shoot things. Even if they're older, I still honor them and take them out and shoot them and blast them. As hashtag white glove nothing and shoot everything. Yeah, I don't really have any use for safe queens anymore in my collection. Pretty much got rid of all those. Everything I got, I shoot. One way or the other, I'll shoot it. I'm not. It's not something that's going to hang around and not get shot. All right, Slim Fire, morning JW, and I hope you're having a nice weekend. I had the same problem with the lead powder measure mounted on my Lyman turret press. There's some see. Everybody's experiences different things, and that's what's kind of neat about this. Really enjoy the sharing information. Like JW's comment about his experience with that 44 Magnum and unique powder. It's good information. I'm glad that people like that, that we share those type of things. Really awesome comment. Really like that write up about the unique powder and his experience and the basically not seeing the performance out of such a power horsepower of a cartridge that produces. The fine powder leaked all over the press, and when I changed to another powder, it stopped. So not sure if what was going on. Thanks for the video, Slim. Back when I worked for a company that we reloaded quite a bit of rounds for the basically range purposes and stuff, we were using Dillon 1050 machines, and we were using accurate #2 powder, and that stuff leaked everywhere. That stuff was like all over the everything. So I don't know. Again, to each their own, right? Everybody experiences something. Joe P, good morning, JW. When I started, I purchased a Hornady electric powder dispenser scale. Is that the one that you push the button and it just automatically, like you type in your load or what grains you want and you just press it and it goes, and it shoots it into the little cup? I looked at one of those if that's what you have. And I actually thought about that because I'm so lazy about powder dispensing. And I've since pretty much abandoned my progressive press. It takes a lot more time to reload now, but I have become more interested in accuracy than bulk loading, especially with rifle rounds. That would definitely be. That being said, I'm a much better reloader than a shooter. Same. Well, actually, I want to say I I, believe it or not, don't really enjoy hand loading as much as I used to. I hand load because it's part of the, to me, it's like a necessary, uh, somewhat pain in the butt to fund the hobby. I do it because availability and cost. 44 Magnum, obviously, it's going to cost me a whole heck of a lot more to go and buy, spend $55 or $60 for a box of 50 rounds of 44 mag just to take it to the range. When I prefer to just hand load a few, take out a couple boxes, burn them as I need them. A lot cheaper for sure. There is definitely certain cartridges that are a lot cheaper to load. So that's kind of where it is for me. So I do kind of depend a little bit, especially like my 9 mil. I depend a lot more on speed and bulk because I know it's just around. It's like potato chips, just going, 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 going. All right, Mickey Mantle, morning all, and good morning to you, Bad Jack JW. Hopefully you're back home safe and sound. I am, and thank you. I appreciate that. Everybody's kind words and support on that. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Um, I've thought of picking up the trade of reloading when I retire, but right now I'm just picking up ammo and when I can catch it on sale. That's a great way to do it. Thanks for the info, friend. The idea of that much powder going to waste definitely doesn't make sense. Blessings, friends. Yeah, especially when you're paying $55 for a bottle of unique powder these days. I don't know in your neck of the woods how much it is, but out here I paid $55. So wasn't too thrilled about that stuff just splattering all over the place. Sean Lee, good mornings. Good Saturday morning, y'all. Never got into reloading, but can imagine that it might be a little fun, perhaps. Yeah, it can be fun. I guess for me, if I think about something fun with it, I enjoy messing around with the 44 Magnum and messing around with different power factors. Not necessarily going really high, but kind of making a nice moderate to light load of 44 mag. It is fun creating that. This one's from DB, top of the morning. And Jerry Johnson, I have an RCBS Rock Chucker Reloader. Yes, absolutely. And I was trying to go back, just reading through JW's comment here. Um, Shape change from the rectangular to spherical front entry hole. The exit hole is hydraulically. Okay, I knew I was missing something here in your comment. Um, so about the shape change of the target, I guess that you shot, the front entry hole, but it had the exit was hydraulically cleared. Um, about most impressive sight was the inside of the can. Yeah. Okay. All right. The entry hole, the stress lines inside like a starburst, and interesting. That we used to back when I used to shoot in Hawaii with my friend on his property, Ron Smith. Unfortunately, he passed. I had a lot of fun going up there, and we used to shoot a lot of stuff. And the cool thing was to see what the stuff did, like what these rounds did. Ron used to really like shooting locks. I remember he shot a lot of padlocks, and he used to shoot them with his rifles and stuff. He was really interested in that. He used to go and find them after, and he had a display of them. It was really cool. So, all right, those are the comments there. I do appreciate that, everybody. Um, a little bit on the other sides, unfortunately, in the world and the news of Hollywood and whatnot, and of course, you guys know I'm a big movie buff, especially for a lot of old movies. We sadly lost Gene Hackman, uh, which was kind of definitely a bummer. It's like, and then especially to have, I guess, I guess there's some definitely some unfortunate, mysterious investigations going on regarding his passing. That sucks for somebody like a legend like that to die in mysterious ways like that. That's horrible. It's a horrible thing. Such talent like that. Of course, he'd been retired from acting for like over 20 years. He kind of stepped out of the limelight. Right up to the end of his career, before he pretty much was done with acting, he did a movie called Heist. It also had Danny DeVito, Delroy Lindo, and the card guy. I can never remember the guy's name, but he's a card sharp. Really cool guy. Played a good part in the movie too. Um, but that was a good movie. That was a really decent movie to come out there. Of course, one of my personal favorites is The French Connection 2. Gene Hackman and The French Connection 2. It's such an interesting, weird thing because it's a sequel to one of the greatest movies, cop movies out there, next to things like Bullet and Dirty Harry and stuff. Of course, these were predating, like Bullet predating it. I think French Connection came out either right around the same time or a little bit before it or something. I can't remember when French Connection came out. Probably the same time. For whatever reason, 1971 sticks in my head. Um, but really good ones. And the French Connection 2 came out towards like 75, I think, or so. And just a really good movie. You almost don't really need to see the first one to catch on with it, but it does help. You got to kind of understand the story a little bit of what he's doing. But French Connection 2, liked it, really do. I like the bonding and the relationship between him, his character Popeye Doyle, and the character in it, the French police. I guess he's like the captain or something, Henry Barnaby. And of course, he's like, it's all that counterculture thing. He's like, hey, I'm here to see Bartlemy, and the guy's like, oh, Bartholomew, and he's like, yeah, Bartlemy. So it's just he has some really good dialogue. And as usual, some of it's a little controversial these days. But come on, it's the 70s. It reflected a certain type of a movie, certain type of time period, and all that kind of stuff. There's really wonderful interviews with Gene Hackman talking about those movies and whatnot. And interesting how he had struggles with the first movie and how he wasn't sure if he could actually do the things that were necessary in the movie to get done to fulfill his character. But stuck with it. William Friedkin definitely made him, and said, "Hey, no, stick with it." Another passing was it's like I mention it because of a movie, this movie here, and that's David Johansen, the singer of New York Dolls. Although I never really listened to New York Dolls, but he's in this movie called Tales from the Dark Side of the movie, and he plays. It's the episode in it. It's a short story, The Black Cat. I'm a sucker for those type of movies and stuff like that. Like I went and definitely got when I saw The Monkey, the Stephen King story with the monkey that it's a take on a simple monkey. But anyway, we're distracting. But there's a episode in this called The Black Cat, and David Johansen's the assassin hired by the actor, another great actor that was did a lot of quirky stuff, William Hickey, and he is hired to, it's just funny because the cat like jumps and scratches him, and he's just like, he yells out and screams, "Nobody hits me twice. You understand me? Nobody hits me twice." And he's just trying to, and it just escalates. It's him from him trying to run around with a syringe and inject the cat with some poison to like a switchblade running around trying to poke him to all the way to like this elaborate giant gun with this scope on it. And he's like, okay. He goes, "Kitty," he goes, "forget about your 9 lives because they're going out one lump sum now." So it's just comical. It's funny, but it's definitely the best episode in this movie, in my opinion. That was definitely the best episode. So in it, it's got a couple different stories, but yeah, the actual episode of that is called "The Cat from Hell." So really good, really good. That's a good one. But yeah, unfortunately, David Johansen passed away as well. And then also Joseph. Lambaugh, I believe, or how you pronounce his name, the fellow that wrote all the cop books, like The Onion Field, The Choir Boys, and then a lot of these got made into movies like The Blue Knight with William Holden, New Centurions with George C. Scott and Stacy Keach. Unfortunately, he passed away as well. So we lost quite a handful of really talented people this year, which is kind of a real bummer that's happening. So anyway, before we wrap up the show and stuff like that, talking about different things, and I thought about it. I said I wanted to get back to the old 45 1911, and this is my favorite, absolutely my favorite, which would be the old the 70s series Colt Mark IV. And I was thinking, why do I like this so much, and what makes this so great is because this is pretty much an exact. It's basically the nice commercial model, which is a lot more beautifully done. Of the old A1 would be the World War II era 1911, because it's got all the features that I like. And for all the years that I've loved 1911s, always really liked the World War II 1911, the World War II era. So it's got all these features that I really like. Obviously, as we're talking about my eyesight not being the greatest, it does have these horrible, itty bitty sights that are really terrible, that are hard to see. But I like them. I like the way it looks. You got the short trigger, arch mainspring housing. The old droopy grip safety that a lot of people don't like. I personally like the old school, just brown, big light style grips there and everything. So, but yeah, boy, the sirens are really annoying today. But so going back to the Series 70 Colt, it's got all the same features: short trigger, arch mainspring housing, that standard grip safety, same sights. In fact, side by side, these two firearms, these two 1911s, are identical in pretty much in every way. They're same firearms. So interesting enough, I always felt that was interesting, and it's a type of steel that they used back in the World War II. Models are rather heavy. Yeah, where don't get me wrong, they got some weight to it, but I always felt like those are heavier in a sense. So this is definitely one I take out. Again, we white glove nothing, we shoot everything. Even this baby, shot it. In fact, there's a video on the channel where it shows this thing close up being shot. Check it out. You'll see it close up, World War II 1911 being fired on the channel. So I think you'll enjoy that. So go check out that video. Awesome stuff. Anyway, thanks for coming around. Appreciate it, everybody.